Alright guys, this is going to be the last one in this whole series of videos here. You can see if you've watched these all in order that I've pretty much got the whole thing colored in at this point. But I want to show you my final decisions processes in all of these things. I'm going to step you through a couple things I've done in between this video and the previous video. Obviously I got the floor in here, did these posters on the wall, which this you might be able to recognize as me thinking about Andy Warhol's soup cans posters that hangs up on the wall in the art room here. And then this one isn't a poster that hangs up on the wall, but is me thinking about Mark Rothko, and another artist, painter that I don't know that we've referenced yet, but I thought it would work kind of well in this design. So on the floor here, you can see where I've added the color, and kind of randomly in some places, I didn't want to color this in solid. I want to kind of match this. I really like what's going on here on this bookshelf. So without getting carried away and making it look like another bookshelf or making it look like the reflection of the bookshelf, went ahead and got the color in there. I wanted to use orange there to balance the orange I used up here. So that's definitely a thought process. It's a very specific thought process. But then I did go in and just kind of scribble a little bit of color here. This, I was kind of thinking of the shadow of the figure sitting there, just to get a little more color in there. It really isn't hardly in the picture at all, but that was my thought process there. Added some color up here, again some orange, got some dark blue to hopefully push that back a little bit. I'm still a little wondering, a little concerned about the flower area. I think I want to make it maybe look a little bit more like the bookshelf. I think maybe there's just a little too much line work there. So as opposed to more large shapes with a little bit of line. So I may still fix that. On the cabinet that she's sitting on here, I've just basically given that a nice kind of general coat of this blue and a little bit of the dark shadow. I'm going to go back into this and show you kind of what I did here on this. And then we're going to work a little bit on the face because I want to get a little more contrast in that. So again, I just want you thinking about the decision process, and literally just, everything should be a decision, not just, oh, I'm just going to color that in, but how do I make this, like this area doesn't look as good as this. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to add a little bit in there. So I'm going to get some of this color in. You could think about almost like reflecting those colors, but you don't want to do too much of that because it might start to look like you're sitting on glass. It could be cool, but if that's not what you want to do, then you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to try and just put some various areas of color in. And then I'll take my original blue color and go over that to blend it in so it doesn't look too much just like a bunch of lines sitting on top. I'll just keep playing around with that. I want to continue to step back, look at it from a distance. I might want to add, since this is kind of going vertical, I want to get this a little bit darker. So I'm going to add some dark blue into this. But I'm still going to get some color in there. So maybe a little bit of this green. It might be nice to maybe the fact that this dark green's up here and not anywhere down here, maybe that's part of what's bothering me. So maybe I should get some darker green in down here. Always looking for that color balance. Then I'll take my light blue again. Blend through that just a little bit. all right with me. A little more of this dark green up in here. I don't want to get carried away with over blending all that though. I want to leave that nice and just kind of just stuck in there. Probably want to get some of these oranges. I did a little bit of orange in there. I'm really just playing with this at this point in those areas to create, you know, a look like this. So I've got a lot more to do there still, but I like the way that's coming along. I like the orange in there. So this has the light blue underneath of the orange. Maybe if I put a little more of this orange through here, to blend it out to get this blue just a little more toward gray. I think is kind of where I want it. Since I've got so much color that's on top of other color here, I can't really have an area that's just all one solid color or it's going to stand out really, really poorly. So let me go back to my light blue here. And you should see as I'm working here, it's starting to match the rest of the drawing better. And so I'll continue working with that later. I want to come up here and start working on this face a little bit more. I do think that I like the kind of color that I had in there, but with this color being the background, it's blending in a little too much. So even though I tried to fight myself from getting in here with too much more realistic color, I am gonna go back and add some more natural color. Mostly I want to lighten this up because I think it got a little too dark on me. And that was creating a contrast issue or a lack of contrast issue. There's a couple of earrings here. Maybe the dark blue will go with. And over there, that dark blue is not going to show up, so we'll switch it to orange. Just put a dab of orange onto that. I kind of want to get some of the oranges into the skin tone as well. So at this point now I'll start working and a little more detail. That better. I don't like that the hair and the shirt are all the same color, so I'm going to get a little bit of a different color into that.
Shannon or Jean, dial extension 1001.
Oh, whatever. Sorry, that threw me off there. So that, I think, made a huge improvement already. I definitely need to work on the blue area some more, and I want to get in here. What I'm thinking about doing here, so I made this like too small of detail, I think. So what I'm gonna do is take the colors that I already used in there, just make them a little bit blockier. You notice in some areas I'm just going right over the other color. Well, I'm almost in all the areas. I'm going right over some of the other colors. Just kind of smear that together. And you can see how that's starting to kind of feel a little more closely related to what's going on the other side. I want to do that with some of the darker colors as well. I'm still thinking about it being an abstract flower field or whatever. And it's still hopefully going to represent like that. Okay, so now I'll go back into my yellow. I'm still kind of working that around the brown little circle so it still looks like the center of a flower. Yeah, I think that helped considerably. This next thing I'm going to do is just something to show you. Like, I'm not sure that it really, I should be doing this on this particular drawing, but if you come right up under here, this poster is kind of curled out a little bit. So I want to get some shadow in there, and if you do this neat little thing where for each color, just go to a darker version of that color, get an analogous color that's slightly darker, I should be able to make this look more like a shadow right up underneath of there. That'll make that stand out the poster kind of come out from the wall just ever so slightly. Too far over there. All right, I'll do maybe just a little bit of that right up here, clean up that edge. All right, then from this point on, it would be all about finished work. I still need to finish that. You know, I could start playing around with a lot more line if I want to go in and outline some things. It's a good way to get color around the artwork. So if I don't have this orange over here, you know, I can kind of just come in here and add a little bit of line work. Don't be afraid of ruining the drawing. Like, you can always fix things, and at the end of the day, it's just an artwork anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You can always make another one. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this, and I think that's enough to get you through this project. So hopefully this was a fun one with being able to use a little more freestyle, a little more artistic pastel work. So see you later.